And welcome back to Corbellic Studios. I'm Corbellic. Today we're going to be knocking out another paint video, but this one's going to be different. I'm going to give you a secret. I'm going to give you a secret to how I work, to how I'm able to accomplish a lot of paintings, how I'm able to get out of a mental block, how I'm able to free myself. A lot of people ask me in the comments, they say, hey, you say that at times you do between 60 to 100 paintings a day. How are you able to do it? Can you tell us the process? Or a lot of times I get comments where people say, it takes me a long time to do paintings. How are you able to do it? Yes, you see me go through canvases where I do like 20 or so in 3 hours, but there's also a process of how I get there, and sometimes how I can break out of my mind where I'm feeling that creative block. Because even though I've painted so many canvases and I've done so many original arts in my time, just in my short period of time on eBay within 5 to 6 years, I still get these mental creative blocks, but I always have these psychological things that I remember and these methods to get past it. These certain things that I remember and I say to myself, and certain practices and exercises that I do, so that way I can break myself out of it. Because it's not real. It's just your mind is playing a trick on itself. But your mind is so powerful that you can actually believe in a lot of these things. You could believe that, it's not working for you, or you could believe that it's not looking good, or you could believe there's just so many things that your mind will play tricks on. So how I break out of this psychological block of thinking that, oh, it's not working or anything like that, what I do is I show up and I do paper art. I do paper art. This is gallery paper art. It's 98 thick. It's 98-pound thick pressured paper that you could buy from any art store. It's gallery paper, so it is thick. So your customers will still love it. A lot of people, believe it or not, they don't want canvases. A lot of times people want beautiful paper gallery art that they could just put in a frame. They could put like behind a glass cover and make it matted and make it look real beautiful, and it's original. So a lot of times people love that. So how I'm able to do, when I talk about that I do paintings between 60 to 100 paintings a day, I'm talking about where I'll do my 40 to 50 canvases a day, and then I'll do the remainder where it'll just be paper art. It could either be drawings, it could be quick abstractions, it could just be certain exercises to free myself. Now, what I call these, so I can free myself, I call these studies. And that's what you should do as well. Call them studies, that they're just paper studies that you're doing. And then you can also say to yourself, too, I'm going to make it as messy as possible, or I'm just going to do it as fast as possible. And you can say, no one's going to see it. No one's going to see it. It's just an exercise. But after you do so many of these, and after you get them under your belt, at least like 10, 12, because you're going to feel good when you do it. After you do that, then you're going to feel good about working on the canvas. You're going to be loose and you're going to be ready, because then at least you have the body of work underneath of you. It's just like going to a gym. I'm telling you, painting is like going to the gym. You don't feel like going in the morning. You don't feel like doing that first rep. But as soon as you do the first rep and then the second, then by the time that you're on the 10th one, you're like, you know what? I could keep going. Then your heart is regulated. You could keep going. You could push yourself. It's just a mental mind trap. So without breaking all that down, that was kind of a long psychological talk about how you can break yourself out of it. It's just your mind playing tricks on you. You can do this. So let's turn the lights off and let's work off the projector. Now, when we're working off the projector or doing the paper, you can pull up anything, and you could just start working it fast. A lot of times I like to do this method as well when I see that my paint palette is running a little bit dry. Like if it's like the paint is kind of like on its last legs or whatever, I'm going to use all of that paint. I'm not going to throw it away. Paint adds up. It's like money to me. So I'm going to use any color. Picasso had a famous line. He would say, hey, when I run out of red, I use blue. Or if I run out of blue, I use red. Back then, they didn't have art stores like we have it now, where you can just go across the street and you can get what you want. So you have to make do with what you have. And whatever colors we have, we're just going to make art out of it, do some scribbles, go on to the next one, and we're going to put it online, because why not? That's how you're going to be able to use the leverage against both, so that way you could be able to sell the artwork. All right, no more talking. I hope that's a good explanation of how I'm able to create so many pieces of art, and how I'm also able to do a warm-up exercise to mentally warm up. All right, here we go. You can just see right here, this is a doggy that we pulled up, and you can learn more about the references and how you could get the references, how you could pull these images up and do any kind of design that you want as well. You could do that if you click the link below into the free eBay art program, and you can see how to get started, start selling today. All right, let's do this. I'm just going to take a big brush, right? It's still wet. I'm going to go into the yellow, and I'm going to make it a little bit more wet. And look, you see how sloppy I'm doing this? There's no worries in the world. I'm just getting the colors in there. Look at this. We're gonna go in with some tan or like a cream color. Now I'm gonna go in with some blue. And you can see I'm not trying to color inside the lines, or I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just getting the paint in there. If you want to do a little bit of that later, then you can, but just get the paint in there and you'll feel better. I look at it as a game. That's how you should try to create fast. Look at it as a game that you're playing with yourself. See what you can get away with. I don't know who said that famous line where it's like, art is whatever you could get away with. There is no cheating. There is no rules. You need to do it this way. That's the best part about art. I think that's why I got into art. When I was trying to make it in corporate America with all of the jobs that I've had, there were so many rules to how I wasn't doing things right. There was always something where I wasn't doing something right. There's so many rules to follow. And if you mess up on one of those steps, then you get reprimanded as an adult. Oh, you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right, or something crazy, right? But with art, I just love the idea that I could do whatever I want and there's no rules. Anybody who tries to tell you that you're cheating or there's rules, tell them that there's an artist out there who sold a banana duct taped to the wall for $5 million. Okay? Now, when that person is providing for their family, and when they have that money, you think they care about what you're talking about, what is cheating and what is not cheating? This is the world that we live in. Either find your shortcut or complain about those who have. I think it was Bill Belichick or some famous football coach who said, if you're not finding your shortcut, then you're not trying. I mean, really, I think that the football coach person actually said, if you're not cheating, then you're not trying. But I I always took it as, if you're not looking for a shortcut, if you're not thinking smarter, then you're not trying. You need to try to think about how to do things smarter. It's not always harder. You think just because you're working harder that you're going to succeed. It doesn't work like that. And if you've been around in this life long enough, then you know that it doesn't work like that either. That just because you work hard and you bust your hands, you think bricklayers and people who are in construction, you think those people are the most successful in this world because they work harder? I'm pretty sure they work physically harder than people who are on New York Stock Exchange or Wall Street, right? But it's not about that. You have to find your shortcuts. So we're just warming up, really, because this is my first painting of my warm up, and then after this it'll get much easier and much faster. Here, let's put the eyes in. But if that's your method, I'm not gonna take life away from you if you want to spend 200 hours of your life doing something the hard way and not being smart because you think it means something, you think it makes a difference when it doesn't. The people, like, someone could say, yes, the banana duct tape on the wall is pretty dumb. People could say that, and I'll probably agree with it. But at the same point, I can't knock the hustle of it because there's someone out there who used their hard-earned money, which was the market, to buy it. And I can't knock what the market is because that's their money. Just like when you create art, for example, when you create art, no matter what it looks like, and someone buys it, someone in your family or a coworker or anybody or even a stranger, they can't say to you, "Oh, your artwork is stupid." Because guess what, though? Someone bought your artwork. Someone who was in the market, who went to their job, they earned a paycheck. They worked for that money. And with that money, you know what they did? They bought your artwork. That's their money. That's the market. Someone can't say, "Oh, that, well, they're stupid." Well, that's their money. The market decided that they wanted that banana on the wall. Doesn't matter what I think. And by me thinking it, it's not going to change that the banana sold for $5 million. All right, so we're pretty much done on this one. Normally, what I like to do, I like to turn the lights on, and then I could add in some charcoal because I think charcoal looks really good on paper. So it's like they'll kind of move a little bit, but that's fine. Here, let's move this up. We don't have to. It's not like we're working off the projector. And like I said, this is just our first drawing. I'm gonna do another drawing after this, and then I'll close the video off. But I think that we have enough time. Look at this. And then I'm also using the pastels. I love working on paper because I can work on multiple layers. It dries faster and it's not as problematic when the paint is wet. All right, now let's just add our signature down here. And that's that. Look at this. And we just did this in a very quick amount of time, but this is going to be beautiful to somebody who's a pet owner. It's going to remind them of their dog in a colorful, different way. They want to see their animals or different parts of life just in a different color way. All right, let's get on to the next painting. I don't know what it's going to be, but we're just going fast. We're just working it. All right, this is going to be a perfect example of me just downloading anything online. This is a Shell station logo. So even something like this, I don't know. We're just going to work it fast. And I'm going to put some letterings in there, some words, and see what we come up with. Just a little bit of white, some yellow, and then I'm going to just a little bit of water so it can make it stretch on the paper. I'm using acrylic. And when it comes to using paper as well, when I'm warming up like this, it also reminds me that it doesn't even have to be completely filled in. Like, it doesn't even have to be completely, the whole area has to be all painted. Like, it doesn't have to be. It can have different areas where it just looks rough, like it's unpainted, but that gives it that original look. People want that. Look at this. You can also get this hardboard. You can get this from Hobby Lobby, and every other week they have a 40% off sale. So this was part of their Master's Touch collection at Hobby Lobby, and you could get this for cheap. I think I got this for like $7 or something like that. All right, let me dry this off just a little bit. All right, boom. Now let's just take our red. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. This is like a red oil stick, pastel stick, but it's not a pastel stick. It's like a harder one, kind of like a color pencil, but it's not either. And look, I'm just gonna do this quick. And we can make these fun, because you could put any kind of image or symbols in this. You know, you could also kind of make it like geopolitical. That's what I like to do. I like to have fun with them time to time and put things in there, you know, like, you know how we talk about corporate America or things like that breaking free. I could put things in here like free oil, or land versus petro, or bank versus state, or land versus, I don't know. I don't really have a I'm an artist. When you're an artist, you're free to go back and forth with whatever. You know, I'm not really an artist where I have a political stance on things in my artwork where I'm either left or right. I'm neutral. I'm both. I'm the artist. When Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo were doing their artwork, they weren't really for the church at the time, but they did art for the church because they're an artist. They could paint and do what they want. I've done paintings of all presidents, you know, and sometimes when I used to show it, you would have some people on certain sides, they get upset. And I'm like, it just shows where your mind is at, because I'm the artist. I'm free to paint whatever I want or say whatever I want. So now at the bottom, I could say something like, let's take out our big, this is our big oil pastel stick. These are solidified markers. These are great. So I could say something like, put something here where it's like $1.25, right? We'll put here oil, and then we'll say free land. I don't know what that means, but it's cool, right? I mean, you get the point. How you can have fun with it, and you can put certain things in there and not think too much about it. It doesn't have to be deeper than what it is. And I'm just going to keep it like that and move on to the next one. A lot of times, less is best. It doesn't have to be overpopulated. It has to be over complicated or what things are. Just let things be what they are. Look at that. And someone is going to put this in their frame at home, and it's going to be beautiful once it's matted up and they got the frame around it. It's great.